Good morning, YouTube. Jamel Focus Hands here, and today we're going to be remaking the grill for the ST that you see over here. Let's take you over here. So, I already got the ST badge going, but yeah, we're gonna remake this grill to look like the one on my current Focus, but it won't have that same honeycomb. It'll have a different, like almost star shaped or rhombus shape, or whatever the heck this is, shape grill. Different from this, but obviously it will look better. Anyway, stay tuned.
Bye.
All right, so the first thing that you have to do is you have to get this clip or this grill piece that attaches to the car. In the two spots you take it off, you got to get this out of the surrounding bezel for the grill. And what you want to do with this is you want to reuse this because you'll need to adhere it back to the bezel, but you want to cut out as much of this, but you need these little tabs here. You need those to go back on the car. So you got to get clever and cut out just enough to where you retain some of the rigidity, so that you can slide this back up onto the bumper, because you need that for the grill to, and the bezel to fit into place. Otherwise it'll just flop around. So what I'm going to do, and on the time lapse, is cut around here but save a little bit of this bottom so that I can have enough rigidity to attach this piece back to the bezel, and then that whole thing back to the car once I get ready to cut out the panel over here, or the rumble cone mesh. Anyway, let's get started with that. Stay tuned. And the weapon of choice today will be the Dremel tool with the rotary bit attachment, so that I can go through and just get a nice clean edge. We'll see how it works. I forgot what I used last time. Probably one of these discs. If I can get it out. Use one of these cutoff wheel discs. This will work too, but I'm going to try the rotary tool and see if I can get that to work. So let's begin. All right, that's better. All right, so now the two pieces are separated. So remember, you need this piece to go back in the car. So you're gonna have to really sand down a lot of, the trash that's on here. You want to get this all looking nice and flat, and then we'll join this back with the bezel, and we'll be done. You can either use rivets. I think I'm gonna use rivets this time instead of glue. So to go buy a rivet gun, but you'll just sand this down, put this piece now over it. You can orient this any way you want to, but it'll fit over like this. And I'm going to cut that out so that it fits right, and you splice it to it, and put it back together, and you'll be done. So let's continue with it and show you what it looks like once it's done. Before we continue, gotta clean up the work area. Can't have it looking bad. So if you made it this far, you're pretty much almost done. The mesh cuts are the simple part. I like to lay mine. I'm saying that this is my second time doing it, but I like to lay mine on the surface and just trace out a little bit more on both sides of the mesh, so that I could go back in and asphyxiate that to this this attachment point for the car. So I'll just go around and cut that out, and then I'll start trimming it to what I want it to be to fit inside of here, or yeah, on this backside. So I'll put it back here, and that should be good. All right, let's get to it. To do this part, I take tape. I'll take the tape and kind of trace the area where I don't want to cut, or yeah, the area I don't want to cut. So I want to go out to about right here to give myself a little bit of extra room to work with on this end. Make sure you get yourself some blocks of wood to stick up under here, otherwise you'll cut slap through whatever you're holding the mesh on. That's just common sense, but let's get to cutting. All right, so like that, we have our mesh grill cut out, and this is going to follow pretty much the contour of the bezel attachment point. So when I put it on the back here, it's going to give you a little sneak peek preview. The bezel is going to cover all of this. Oh, sorry. The bezel on the car is going to cover all of this, so you won't be able to see any of that. But what we're looking for is that right there. Can you see the vision now? And you want to make sure you cut out enough on both sides so that the mesh will go all the way to the corner. You don't want any gaps here. So now what we'll do is, with that there, we will start cutting around here to kind of fine tune this into place. So let's do that. All right, so I cut a little bit more out of the, let me back it up a little bit on the camera. I cut a little bit more out on the grill. So now it's hanging out the bottom a little bit. I wanted to leave a little bit of extra space for these little tabs that are gonna run into the bumper. I need to get this out of here. So I want to leave a little bit extra space for these things to slide in place. And I think I should be able to cut that little trim right here off I'll cut this little piece off here to kind of just get some of that off. But so far, this has to obviously be pushed down. But so far, it's looking pretty good. This is kind of where you want to be. And it doesn't even look like I need to use any type of glue or anything. I could just butt these two together and call it done. But I obviously want to make sure this adheres to the top. And I need to find some kind of like rivet joint to do that. I could have did a little bit of better job here with sanding that down, but that's okay. So far so good. Let's continue. So it's actually easier to remove a new OEM grill than it is to remove the OEM grill that came with the car. For some reason they stick it on pretty tight, but with the new one, you can just pull back on these tabs and just remove it really easy. I'm really loving this. It's just falling out. I mean, of course there's some tabs keeping it in, but bam, it's already off. Like, I broke the one that came with the car trying to get this piece off. This piece makes or breaks the build, so make sure you don't break this. All right, so with the bezel piece, you just slide it back on into the little slots. And if they don't fit in these little slots, you got to do some more cutting on the back side here so that your bezel pieces can fit. And see, like, my bezel pieces aren't fitting in here, so I need to go and do a little bit of cutting where those pieces will go, and that will suffice enough for this build. Need to do a little tucking up here too. So let me work on this to get this all nice and tight, and I'll cut you back on. Stay tuned. So what y'all been waiting for, here's the grill. It's nice, right? Now YouTube and videos make a lot of you hide a lot of things here, so I want to show you where I messed up. Right down here is where I messed up, and I need to perfect this. I don't have any more of the mesh to go back and fix it, so I'm gonna have to live with this until I get new mesh ordered. But what I did is that I was supposed to install the mesh on the front side of the tap-in part of the bezel, not on the back side. So if you're trying to do this, make sure you do it on the front side, not the back side. I don't know how I didn't think of that, because the bezel needs to have room to clear through to the attachment bezel, which is this thing here. So make sure that you account for that, otherwise you'll run into this problem like I did here. But that's not bad. I mean, and then you want to go in and paint the gray in the back, and I'll do that, and you really won't be able to tell that it's there. But that is something that I had an issue with, and I need to perfect that here in the near future, so that, you know, I can start kind of, you know, producing these things for other people. Because there are people that want, you know, the grills without the Ford symbol, and I think the car looks so much better without that button in the front. That Pillsbury Doughboy button in the front. Yeah, I'm rocking the ST badge right dead center. I haven't seen anybody else do that. This is the first. Don't copy, please. Copyright. This copyright. Anyway, that is it. Let me get a little bit of B-roll in for you, and I'll talk to you next time. What's going on, YouTube? Focus Hands here. Today I'm going to be working on the rear bushing. Show you. Get down up under here. The rear bushings, the rear sway bar links of the car on the ST. These got to go. These are in bad shape. And next on my list in this episode is to replace them. I'm going to do it super quick.
And I'm gonna do it with the bolt on the top this time for a lot of you viewers that were, you put it in wrong, you're supposed to put the bolt on top. You can do it on top or below. And I'll show you on the other Focus that it's still on and nothing's wrong with it.